Well, here we go. There you see our chip leader, Dan Smith, $3.7 million. Gary Benson behind him with $3.1 million. 6 players left fighting it out for this title. 5 Americans, 1 Australian. That's what they're playing for. The winner tonight taking home over $1.1 million.
Okay, Mike. Antes are 5,000, blinds are 20 and 40. Here we go. The Australian Gary Benson folding first. And now the very talented Joe Serock. He's got a queen 9. It looks like he's going to get involved here.
The WPT Season 10 Player of the Year, making it $90,000 to go.
Yep. A few folds around, and now it's on to Dan Smith.
Well, Dan is in the big blind. He's going to make the call here, so we're going to have a flop.
And Dan's got queen 7 flops, ace 7 6, so Dan has 7s. He checks it. Joe with absolutely nothing, zip and pip, but he does have guts. Mike, look at this. He's getting out chips.
We're going to make the continuation bet.
100,000 into Dan.
Dan with second pair, as you can see, 2 7s. Going to make the call.
Dan's 24 years old, out of Vegas, poker pro. Can he get lucky? He does there. 3 7s.
He's hit the slot machine on the turn.
He's first to act now. It's surprising he doesn't check the... Ooh.
Maybe he thinks if he bets out, Joe will raise him if he's got aces.
275.
He does bet out, but Joe quickly escapes. I'm like you, Vince. I think he should have checked there. Let the guy bluff at it again. If he had aces, he's certainly going to bet again, but didn't happen. Dan does take down the pot, though.
Yep. He's won a couple high roller events. He plays big time poker, this Dan Smith. But on to the next hand, Eddy Sabat. Eddy's a poker pro out of LA. They call him Special Ed. And he folds. Barry Hutter out as well. Dan Smith also ejecting his hand. Now around to the Australian. Gary Benson, no, he won't play.
Back to Joe Serock. Joe in the small blind with queen 5 of diamonds. Joe gonna just call here. He limps in the small blind.
That is right. And now Shaun Suller from Honolulu, Hawaii. 31-year-old.
Well, when a guy limps in out of the small blind, most of the time you're going to raise with ace high here. Shaun doing just that, feeling very certain that it's the best hand unless the guy's trapping you.
That's right. It makes 125,000, and it's going to be too much for Joe Serock. He lays down his hand. So the 31-year-old Shaun Suller from Honolulu taking down that pot.
Getting tired of the same old routine? The same games? Play something fresh and exciting in the WPT Global Casino. Games like Poker Flips, Lava Lions, and Speakeasy Boost are all waiting for you right now. Register on WPT Global today and use promo code YTCasino and be eligible for our generous welcome offers.
Back down to the table. Action going to the Floridian, Barry Hutter. He plays online and in college with friends, and now he's out here on the WPT. He's got 10-9. He's going to raise.
Yeah, got the suited connectors. Makes it 85,000 to go.
And they are just dropping like flies all around him. But look at this. Shaun Suller with ace 10 in the small blind. He might call this. Nope.
Well, he opts to lay it down as well.
And so does Eddy Sabat.
So a bold raise up front with the 10-9 for Barry Hutter, wins him the pot.
This is the biggest cash of his career. Barry Hutter, only 27 years old, but he knows how to play. All right, to the felt we go. Dan Smith, 24-year-old, will quickly fold. Gary Benson also out. And now, the very splashy Joe Serock.
Well, Joe likes to play a lot of hands. Raises here with a queen 9 offsuit to 90,000.
Shaun and Eddy out. And now Barry Hutter from Hollywood, Florida. He's got an ace 3. He's going to call it.
Flop 6-5 deuce, 2 hearts. As you can see, Barry has the gut shot straight draw but checks.
And now Joe Serock hitting nothing there, but getting the continuation bet out. Bets 100,000. Always applying pressure.
Barry is check raising here. $275,000. What a bold bet by Barry Hutter. And as we can see, Joe has nothing, so this check raise most likely going to work.
Joe Serock lays down his hand. Barry Hutter, Hollywood, Florida kid, takes down this pot.
Vince, that guy's put my chips to good use. He's the one that broke me in this tournament. Thought I had something. I moved in with 2 queens. He had 2 kings. Bye-bye, Mike.
This game keeps you talking to yourself, doesn't it, Mike?
Well, can't feel bad if you're on a short stack. You pick up queens, you're happy to get them.
All right, back to the felt we go. Joe Serock now with a king 9 of spades, and that's a big hand for Joe tonight. He plays almost anything, and he will raise, makes it $85,000. Shaun Suller out. Eddy Sabat, poker pro out of LA, won't play.
Barry picks up a nice hand, ace-jack.
Certainly does. He's got the button as well.
Well, just lays it down.
That's shocking. And now on to Dan Smith, and Dan has ace-king. Maybe Barry knew something there.
Wow.
What a fold by Barry.
Sure was. Dan is eyeing the chip stack of Joe Serock. Certainly going to raise it here, I'm sure, and 3-bet it, which he does.
225. And now the Australian entrepreneur, Gary Benson.
An inaugural inductee into the Australian Poker Hall of Fame.
He won't play that. Back on Joe. Look at the pressure Joe is getting.
Yeah.
This is no home game, Joe. He's got to lay it down.
Well, a good laydown there by Joe Serock, and Dan Smith increases his chip lead at this table.
Yeah, Dan Smith has played and won a couple high roller events in 2012 for over $1 million each. What a player Dan is. Everyone does fear him at the table. Onto this hand, the Hawaiian Shaun Suller now with the ace-3 first to act. And he will raise, makes it $100,000 to go. Eddy Sabat, not playing. Barry Hutter. Now again he picks up ace-jack. And look at this, again he quickly mucks.
He's got something against that hand.
He's got to. Dan out. Gary out. Joe out.
So nice under the gun raise with the ace-3 offsuit by Shaun. Takes it down.
Yes, Shaun Suller plays in the home games back in Hawaii. This has got to be exciting for him. Back to the felt we go. Barry Hutter from Florida quickly folding. And now the chip leader, Dan Smith, takes a look at a 10-3. He won't play that. Gary Benson out. And Joe Serock going to take a breather.
So the battle of the blinds here. Over to Shaun Suller. He's got jack-4 of hearts.
He's Hawaiian, says he's very spiritual and superstitious, and he will call with a jack-4. And now Eddy Sabat from LA. Got a queen 8 of clubs.
All right, let's see a black.
This is a hand many guys would raise with when their opponent limped into the small blind, but Eddie happy to see a flop.
He's got an accounting degree at USC, and now he's got a pair of 8s as 8-3 deuce hits the board.
Yep, Shaun is going to check. Eddie with top pair. Is going to bet $55,000.
Yes, even the accountant can figure that one out. Bets the money with top pair. But Shaun Suller, with absolutely nothing, is going to make this call.
This is what we call the float. You call with nothing in hopes to try to steal the pot later.
7 of diamonds on the turn, no help for Shaun.
That's just what Shaun's going to try to do. He's going to try to steal this pot right here. He leads out and bets $135,000, but Eddie having top pair, I don't think this play is going to work.
No, you would not think so. He's got 8s with the queen kicker. Says he's the LA Clippers' #1 fan, a big basketball fan. Once made 57 free throws in a row, he says.
That's pretty good.
He's got to make this call, Mike. Let's see how he does with the free throw here. 4 of diamonds. That actually hits Shaun. Has a little piece of a pair of 4s.
Got a hand now you could almost check down, but he's going to bet 2 4s here, $150,000.
What are you doing over there, Shaun? It's a good flop for me.
Eddy Sabat still with top pair.
There's a possible straight and a possible flush out there, but you're not going to put your opponent on either one of those hands. Just can't imagine you're getting away from top pair here.
Nope, not for the amount of money. He makes the good call. Shaun's not going to like it. So Eddy Sabat, Special Ed they call him, will take that pot. Eddy Sabat is 27 years old. He's made over 1.6 in live earnings. Pretty impressive.
I practice patience and discipline to work on my game. There have been too many times in my career where you could play perfect for 4 days straight and then one brain lapse and you're out. So I just really try to keep focused all the time.
All right, back to the action. Joe Serock, WPT Player of the Year. Going to lay down an ace-7. Shaun Suller going to take a little rest. Eddie out, Barry out. Round to Dan Smith, who doesn't have much of a hand. He's got 10 deuce of diamonds. He'll call it.
10 deuce suited, the Dolan Brunson hand.
Okay, let's have a flop.
Now the gambler Gary Benson from Australia with a queen 6, content to see a flop, and here we go.
Jack 8, 3, 2 clubs, no help to either player. Action on Dan.
Yeah, he is going to check it. And now the entrepreneur gambler from Australia. He can sense weakness. He makes a bet, and it's going to work.
I would have gotten there.
You can tell.
So Gary Benson, the first Australian-born player to win a World Series of Poker bracelet, taking down that point.
All right, action on the Floridian, Barry Hutter.
Picks up ace-jack again. Third time he's had it. Third time's a charm, I guess. He's betting this one. 85,000.
Chip leader Dan out. The Australian also going out. Joe Serock ejects a hand, and now it's around to the Hawaiian.
Well, Shaun has the ace-9 of hearts. Could get him in trouble here. We'll see. Well, just going to make the call. And Eddie gets out of their way.
So we have ace-jack versus ace-9. And we will see the first 3 cards right now. And the flop's a queen 10-4. No help to either player.
Action on Shaun. He checks. Barry has the gut shot straight draw. The Broadway draw. He's going to make the continuation bet of 100,000.
Yes, he is.
We saw Shaun do some float action last time, meaning he called with no hand and no draw. Will he do it again? Nope. Didn't like the way that worked out last time. Gets rid of this hand.
So Barry Hutter, the poker pro out of Hollywood, Florida, going to take this one. This is wide open here.
Well, Dan Smith still well out in front. Nearly $4 million in chips. The Australian Gary Benson behind him. Right now, Joe Serock on the short stack with 6 players left.
A bunch of young, tough poker professionals. And then, of course, the senior Gary Benson. There he is. He's from Australia. Quite a player and entrepreneur. He's going to fold his hand. And now it's around to Joe Serock.
Looks down at King 7 of hearts. He is going to raise it. Makes it 85,000 to go.
Shaun goes out. And now Eddy Sabat has picked up a real hand. Pair of jacks. They call him Special Ed. He's a poker pro out of L.A. Let's see what he does.
I just can't imagine he's not going to 3-bet with this hand. And indeed he is. 225,000 to go.
Barry goes out. Back on to Joe.
And Joe Serock, the skateboarder, just can't stay on the board today so far. He is getting knocked off every time he makes a move at this table.
Getting tired of the same old routine? The same games? Play something fresh and exciting in the WPT Global Casino. Games like Poker Flips, Lava Lions, and Speakeasy Boost are all waiting for you right now. Register on WPT Global today and use promo code YTCasino and be eligible for our generous welcome offers.
Actions on the Australian Gary Benson. He's going out. Joe also out.
Shaun goes out as well. And Eddy Sabat throws away, so it's a battle of the blinds here. Barry Hutter looks at ace high and just limps in with it. Well, surprising he didn't raise with that out of the small blind, but maybe a wise move because right behind him, Dan Smith looks down at ace 10 of clubs. And he's got position, he's got more chips, and he's got a better hand. All that you would think would add up to a raise.
115.
That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to raise it. Goes to 115 like he should.
I can tell you Dan Smith's only 24, but he's one of the most respected poker players in the world, period.
And Barry's going to stick around for the flop. So ace-10 versus ace-7. Flop's a 5-3 deuce.
Both players have the wheel draw, but as you can see, Dan's got him out-kicked.
Both players check. Going to the turn, 8 of hearts. Still no one hitting. Barry's going to check again. But Dan will make the bet, 100,000.
Well, Barry's going to call him.
Going down to the river. Both guys with ace high, and an ace hits. Unfortunate perhaps for Barry. He's checking.
Well, there you see a couple really good players, Lucky Chewy and Steve Silverman. Good buddies with Dan, sweating him here tonight.
175.
Dan's going to put it in the value bet, 175,000. And Barry is going to make this call. He's not going to like it.
Well, Dan proudly displays the ace-10 of clubs, takes down the pot.
Look at Barry yawning like it didn't affect him. We know better, Mike. That hurts. All right, back down to the felt we go. The very talented Joe Serock takes a look at his hand, and he will fold. The Hawaiian also going out.
Eddy out as well. Over to Barry. Looks down at ace-10 of clubs on the button. Going to raise it to 85,000.
Dan Smith out, and now the Australian entrepreneur gambler with a 4-5 of spades.
Yeah, I got the little suited connectors. He makes the call, wants to see a flop.
Sometimes you can break players with this type of hand. Let's see if Gary can. Flop is a king-jack 9.
Well, certainly no help for Gary. He checks.
Now Barry with an inside straight draw. In a powerful position. Will he take advantage of it? It looks like he's going to bet 100,000. Well, Gary's going to fold the hand. But Gary's an interesting guy because a few months back, he came to Bellagio and he hit a slot machine for $1.3 million.
Yeah, you're right, Vince. He's a very mathematical guy, tries to figure out everything.
Yeah.
Thought the slot machine was due to hit, played it around the clock for 6 days in a row, hit it for $1.3 million, and now he's here at Bellagio, reaping the benefits, decided to play this tournament. He's at the final table. How good are things for this guy from down under?
All right, on to the next hand. Couple folds. Barry also out. And there's our chip leader, Dan Smith, with an ace-jack.
Obviously going to raise it on the button here, makes it 90,000 to go.
To Mr. Lucky. And he's got a king-jack. He could get involved, but no. Goes out. And now Joe Serock, who is on the short stack. And Joe has a queen 10, and he's going to push all in.
Wow, 760,000 all in. Snap call by Dan Smith. And right now, Joe Serock in dire straits, has yet to win a pot at this final table. Mom said there'd be days like this sometimes. Vince, he's going to have to get lucky to stay alive. Let's see if Joe can do it.
Oh, boy, Dan loving the moment right now. Smiles. He's out in front so far. Let's see the flop. It's an ace. Flops aces for Dan Smith. Right. Joe Serock gets up.
Well, the look says it all on Joe's face. This, not his day.
Okay, turn card is a 3 of hearts. Doesn't help Joe.
So that's going to do it for the Season 10 WPT Player of the Year. Joe Serock out tonight in 6th place.
Oh, he's a great player. Always fun to watch. Joe Serock has to say goodnight. Going to take home $175,000. And right now, he's going over to talk to Matt Savage.
Joe, you're obviously disappointed. What happened on that last hand?
Reshoved queen 10 versus Dan's button raise. He had ace check.
All right, what were we thinking there on that play?
He's opening a lot of hands.
Okay.
And I didn't think he had ace check.
All right, well, Joe, I'm sorry, disappointing for you, but I'm sure you'll be back again. Back to you, Len.